that leads us to our Would You Rather. Would you rather the steroid users make it into the Hall of Fame?
Or
not make it into the Hall of Fame.
I was going to say, or not make it a Hall of Fame. You know, really.
I didn't want to steal all of it. I didn't want to do the whole thing.
No, I know. That was the funny part because I was like, well, I guess I'll just say the whole thing because, I mean, the other option is that they don't.
Or don't. Yeah. So without getting too much into it, why don't we play devil's advocate on this? So which side do you want to take to start with? Roid users get in or roid users shouldn't get in?
I'll start with roid users shouldn't get in. Because at this point, they haven't. And no matter what, when people... How's that cheese?
It's not bad.
Oh.
I mean, I've eaten...
I mean, yeah, I'm glad
it's the first bite. I have to eat an entire jar of it, so it's going to get rough.
Anyway, back to the statement or the question, but...
Uh-huh.
It's saying that they're not in... Look, they're not in now, and all the conversation has been every year, hey, when are they going to get in? Are they going to get in? Yada, yada, yada. I have a feeling that no matter what happens through the rest of history, the conversation can't be had about the Baseball Hall of Fame no matter what without these guys. So even if they're not in, it's like they're in.
That's a good point. It's kind of like Pete Rose.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Pete Rose where everybody's like, let Pete in.
Yeah, or everybody just assumes, I mean, when you talk about the Hall of Fame, oh, okay, Pete Rose isn't in, but his stats always get rattled off, and people are like, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. So even though they're not officially in, they're still in.
That's a good point. I never really thought about it that way.
I never thought about it until just now when
you
asked me the question.
Talking?
Yeah. No, when you asked me the question, I thought about it, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? Well, we talk about it so much, but when somebody asks me someday, or if there was a Hall of Fame, yeah, sure, there won't be a plaque and a bust and all that. The
but
fancy
they're always
stuff.
tied to it,
right?
No matter what.
No way that you can talk about baseball and that era, that 85 through, you know, mid 2000, early 2000s era without saying, oh yeah, Bonds and Clemens and all these other guys.
Yeah.
Existed.
No, I've never heard anybody come in with that stance, and that is
I've never thought about it.
It's such a good way to put it because these guys, like Pete Rose, doesn't have to be. All it is at this point is just the plaque.
That's it.
He's always tied to the Hall of Fame in conversation.
Right.
Man,
you're
just
always going to talk about
blew my mind on this one. Now I don't know how to vote.
Because and I know I was going to say this. It's blowing my own mind because I'm like, how have I never really thought about that? Or how has nobody else ever kind of said, yeah, you know what? It's nice and all, but it kind of doesn't matter at the end of the day. Not to say that if you're in that you just don't think anything of it.
Right.
But for these guys, they know what they did. Everybody who watched baseball during that time knows what they did. If you read anything about baseball during that time, it's not going to not talk about them.
Yeah.
So they're going to be immortal one way or the other.
Corey brings up Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from Clemson, and we talked about the one story where now with these other leagues kind of starting up, the XFL, the AAF or whatever these crazy leagues.
AAFL. American League Alliance and Association of Football.
Not college football, like that league. But that is opening the door to guys if they don't necessarily want to sit out, they want to continue to compete in some capacity and get paid.
Right.
They could go that route too. And we saw, the dude who was supposed to go to Syracuse, I forget his name, the one from Cincinnati,
Bazemore.
Yes, who decided to go G League instead of going to Syracuse. There are options that kids are starting to figure out, and sitting out, just flat out sitting out, could be an option for a lot of these kids.
I think it's going to happen.
The only thing is, although I guess if you sit out, you can sign with an agent. Like you can sign at that point because you don't care about your eligibility. Because the only thing I was thinking was, well, they still need a place to stay, and if you don't have a job or whatever, some agent will float you the
and again,
loan.
If you're Williamson, what is anybody really going to think if he said tomorrow? I mean, yeah, sure, in interviews and whatnot, guys, they're going to ask you, you're going to quit on your team? Is that that's like I think the biggest concern is these questions about your character and all that crap if you sit out. But I mean, honestly, if you're just like, nah, I just didn't want to get hurt, and once I go pro, I'm dedicated to my team because I'm getting a paycheck.
But
I wasn't gonna sell myself out for a college team that I don't make anything off of.
And you're also seeing that at the pro level too. Look at Kawhi Leonard with the whole thing about was he hurt, was he not hurt? He just sat out. He was like, I'm hurt. I'm just gonna sit here until
I
you
get
trade
right.
me. Oh, I'm better now. Now that I'm going to Toronto, I'm better now. Yeah. So you're even seeing it at the pro level of dudes that are just like, sorry, man, I'm doing what's best for me. And as somebody who will always take the side of the players versus the owners, or the players versus the NCAA, do you?
I'm
totally
100%
cool
fine
with
with
it.
it.
I'll be upset if it happens to my team just because.
Oh God, yes.
Because it's my team. But if it happens to somebody else's team, like if it happens to Duke and Duke tanks because Zion wins, I would be like, great.
Well,
this
that's part
is
of the reason I'm
greatest thing
champion
ever.
again. Let Duke fall off. They all think they've got the national title like sewn up, or at least the Final Four. But he leaves tomorrow, and all of a sudden things get murky.
If Trevor Lawrence sat out next year and Clemson was scrambling, and Bill was like, "Who am I going to get to quarterback?" Tough Nuggets, Bill. Sorry, man.
Tough titties. That would be even funnier because he was a true freshman. So for him to be like, I'm already projected as a first-round pick. I'm sitting out the next 2 years. Thanks for the memories, Clemson. That would be hysterical.
It would be amazing.
I'm never going to throw another pass at the collegiate level again. I've decided I'm going to forgo my next 2 years. Just hang out.
I'm hurt. Got to get myself right. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to sit here.
Guys, I'm preparing for the NFL draft. You're a sophomore. I know.